Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel Film Buzz, where today I was lucky enough to catch an early screening of PRIMATE thanks to AMC's first Scream Unseen event of 2026, where the movie follows Lucy, her family, and her friends on a vacation to her dad's luxurious estate in Hawaii. What starts out as a relaxing getaway turns into a terrifying fight for survival as Ben's behavior escalates and the group is forced into a primal high-stakes struggle to stay alive. That's the basic gist of the movie's premise, and now let's get into my spoiler-free thoughts of one of the first movies I've seen in 2026. Going in, the premise instantly piqued my interest. A family's pet chimp goes rabid and turns into a full-on threat? That could go either way, especially for a horror movie releasing early in the year, at a time that's infamous for studios dumping their "we're not so confident in this" horror films. But honestly, PRIMATE does not fall into that category. I was genuinely surprised by how much fun this movie was and a great way to kick off the year. What really stood out to me is how PRIMATE goes back to the classic man versus nature roots of horror. It's Lucy, her family, and her friends versus this force of nature, their own chimpanzee Ben, and wow, the havoc Ben unleashes throughout the movie is wild. Without spoiling anything, there's an opening sequence that's very reminiscent of Scream. And if you know your horror, you'll catch some subtle camera angles and nods that feel like a fun homage to that cult classic. And the kills and finishing blows, brutal on ways I don't even want to describe or recall because they were honestly pretty gross and gnarly at the same time. There were also moments where I wanted to look away but also couldn't at the same time because I needed to see how the scene played out. Like, oh my god, like the brutality in this movie is like crazy. The movie as well uses its soundtrack and overall eeriness to its full advantage. The sound design builds tension at all the right moments, especially during the more gruesome sequences. Some of those moments still make me uncomfortable just thinking about them, and I don't even want to know how they pull off some of those effects. I also loved how the film used the singular location plot device of Lucy's family estate to its full potential. You really get a sense of the space, the layout, and the characters living in it. It makes the chaos feel more grounded and immersive overall. But now moving on to some of the minor inconveniences I personally had, which might not affect your viewing experience, but are some things I picked up on throughout the movie's runtime, is that most of the characters in PRIMATE are pretty one-dimensional and mainly exist to add to the body count. You've got your stereotypical jock, the dumb blonde, the party animals, and of course, the final girl with some relatives thrown into the mix of things to raise the stakes. And honestly, it works well for what the movie's trying to pull off, especially with its tight 90-minute runtime, which I think it's the perfect length for a movie like this. Also, a quick side note, one standout for me was Lucy's father, a world-renowned author living in isolation in Hawaii, who also happens to be deaf. His scenes particularly had me on the edge of my seat, especially once things started going absolute batshit crazy with Ben. Also for Ben himself, he's a solid antagonist, nothing groundbreaking, but hell yeah, it was fun watching this chimp go bananas and unleash mayhem in such creative but unrealistic ways. Which, to be fair, the movie does establish early on that he has bits of signs of intelligence. He communicates through a tablet to our cast of characters, and some of his quote-unquote creative attacks actually do make sense and don't seem so far-fetched from reality. Overall, PRIMATE was surprisingly a strong way to kick off the year. It doesn't overstay its welcome, it doesn't try to be deeper than it is, and it delivers exactly what you want from a movie like this: tension, chaos, and a whole lot of bloodshed. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10, mostly for the creative sequences, the fun camera work, and the sheer mayhem Ben brings to the screen. But other than that, if you made it to the end of this video and want to see more content like this, I'd really appreciate you hitting that like and subscribe button. And let me know in the comments what you thought of PRIMATE if you got the chance to see it already. That's all I got for you today, folks. It was just a quick and simple video I wanted to get out of the gate swinging to start off the new year. As always, guys and gals, take care.